All right, we've reached pretty much the end of the road on this project. There's not a lot left to do. Now, on the final exam, I might surprise you. I might ask you to get everything built and then somehow change things at the end. So don't be completely static in your thinking about this. But essentially, we've done all the necessary tasks except for publishing. So let's take a look at this. Naturally, I had to set up my site. Just a little reminder, of course, when you're doing this, you set up both the local information and the remote, right? So we did that already. If you didn't do it already, then you'd have to do it at this point. And I'll just click the little FTP button here to expand to show the local and remote sites. And now, of course, I'm seeing the local files on my desktop, on my computer over here, and I'm seeing the place where the server will be as soon as I connect. So here is connect to remote server. A couple minutes later, we get all this. Now, I don't want you to look at this and think that somehow this is what everything is supposed to look like, because it's not. I think you have a pretty strong idea about this already, but I mean, there may be variance between how mine is set up and how yours is set up just due to the different classes I'm teaching. But we should have the MIC104D folder. And then there's a series of things inside of it, and what I have is not, again, a final list of what should or shouldn't be there. There's various homeworks and other things that aren't well represented here. But this guy is our portfolio. It's a little hard to recognize him because, after all, he's just got the same name as, say, this guy and a bunch of other guys in these other folders out here. So remember, context means a whole lot. The location where an index file is pretty crucial to what it does. And it's also pretty crucial in terms of understanding how to not shoot yourself in the foot and destroy earlier work. So for example, if I was to grab this index over here and drop it on MIC104D, I'd kill my portfolio. And if I didn't have it backed up, then good luck starting from scratch. It wouldn't mean you'd have to complete all the exercises again, but it would mean that you'd have your work cut out for you getting everything hooked up the way it's supposed to be. All right, so the first thing we need is a folder over here where these things can be placed. Now, this is not the only way to do this, but this is the context you're going to be in when you do this. So, like, you cannot, for example, pick up this folder here and drag it over. It's not draggable. You could drag these guys, but you don't really even need them that way. You certainly don't need them at the top level. So, we're going to make a little folder here. Now I can right-click on the MIC104D folder, and I can say New Folder. Or I can just click on the MIC104D folder and go File, New Folder. Either way, it's the same. And when you're doing the final exam, the chances are pretty good that you should have one simply called Final in this location in the MIC104D folder. Now, in this case, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to call mine exercise, right? Does not matter. It's just for right now. I'm just giving it a name. I hit enter to confirm that name, and there it is. Now, of course, I need to start bringing my files over. And some of them really don't need to come along. Design.html was just the original page that we mocked up the look and feel of the thing in, and it's not really part of the site. But dummy and index and links and thingamabobs and whatsits and widgets, they're all part of the site. And what I was doing there, by the way, is I just clicked the first one and I held down Control, and I just kept clicking all the other ones I wanted. When the ones I want are selected, I can just hold down my mouse on top of the blue highlighted area, and drag them straight across, and you have to get far enough onto the folder for it to become obvious that you can release it there. So I'm going to release it on top of the folder called exercise. The answer to this question about dependent files is obviously yes. We've talked about that a good bit. And the result, the meaningful result of the dependent files thing is this. The style sheet came along for the ride. I guess it was required by something here. And a few of the pictures came along for the ride. Various things we used in the design, and that one little "it's been lovely but I have to scream" photo here, right? So there we have it. The website's been published. Now I would typically ask you to go find the site in your web browser and show it to me at that point to prove that it's there. But if you can see on the remote site that this folder exists, that these files are in it, then it really is just a matter of tracking down in your browser first your student site, then adding the folder name MIC104D, and then adding the folder name that you gave this folder for publishing, right? If that's true, if you've laid that address out in the browser, then it should automatically load this file, and you should be looking at your website. All right? So I'm going to do one more little video in just a moment talking about the kind of mistakes people make. And for right now, that's it.